Welcome to iPen Visions Podcast, interviews and conversations, where we bring authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, and those with a vision to our networking community and platform. Be our guest. Include your article, your ad, your promotions, and upcoming events in our quarterly magazine. We are proud to be a part of the Collective or podcast, a virtual tour showcasing you and your business. Our podcast, the magazine, a virtual tour, all on one platform where networking, creativity, and visions meet. All you have to do is contact us at ipendesign@gmail.com. And tonight, welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm Nanette Buchanan, and this is iPen Visions, interviews and conversations with my co-host Felice Reeves, and we have another dynamic show for you. We want to tell everybody be safe. I think all across America, between this, somebody ticked off Mother Nature. I don't know who did it. I don't know who nudged her. I don't know who told her that she needed to show up and show out. But we want you to be safe. Because even though it is hazardous conditions, they're not conditions to be played with. Do not think that you could, just get out on the road and drive in the type of weather, because during the day it was drivable. I know here in North Carolina, the weather warmed up enough to melt some of that ice and everything else. But tonight it's going back down to 10 degrees. So guess what? It's going to be cold. And it's going to be ice again. So I know those of you that have snow, have fun in the snow. Do the snowman thing. Do whatever you want. I am against snow now, so I do not want to do the snow. I'm on Mother Nature's side when the weather gets warm. I love her when the weather gets warm. And when we're speaking about the weather getting warm, my partner has moved to where the weather is permanently warm. So I'm a little upset because, good Lord, I would love to be there. But anyway, hey, Felice.
Yes, we are Mother Nature's favorite child down here.
So I see you've been sunning quite a bit. Yeah, I could tell you've been sunning.
Yeah.
But baby, it looks good on you.
Thank you. My brother was trying to hate on me, talk about, "Ooh, you getting dark," and I'm like, "The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice is."
Yeah, I know that's right. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Some of the juices that keeps our berries sweet. How about that? Some of the things that keep us well mentally, physically, vision-wise, dream-wise. So I don't want anyone to think that you have to have crushed dreams simply because the weather has changed. And the weather changes in our lives as we go along. And you don't have to change your dreams just because the weather has changed. Okay.
Yes,
so just like Mother Nature has control of that weather, and the blessings come from heaven and the spirits and everything else, keep focused on you. And if you do that, you'll be smiling and grinning just like Felice is. You'll be all happy and cheerful and everything. Well, tonight's guest has been a friend of mine for some years. It wasn't until last year that we did a couple of things together, and we're talking about doing a couple of things in the future. But she's been what you would call a whisperer in my life, and in a lot of people's lives. She's been there for them. So I am proud to have her. I'm honored to have her come and talk to us and share her journey and share what she does and share with us how we can do the same thing and elevate ourselves in mental wellness and in physical wellness and everything else, because sometimes that balance is just a little off. So I figured, on a day like today, she's a perfect fit. So tonight's guest is Miss Marsha Snead-Williams, and we're going to bring her to the stage, welcome her on. Hey, lady. How are
Hello,
you?
hello, ladies.
Hello.
Welcome, 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 welcome. I just wanted to say that I am grateful that you are here and that you decided to take on us for the evening because it's a decision in all that you do that you take a little bit of time. So we're glad that you gave us some of your time.
Well, I am honored to be here. I heard you talking about the weather.
Yes, well, yeah,
I got
and you
my
got your cup.
I
You
got
got
my
your
cup of
cup.
coffee,
That's right.
coffee,
That's right. We got
and
to stay warm. We got to stay warm. It's important for people to understand that there's no negative in saying that you can't go. Say no. Say no, because you don't want to get stuck in bad weather and in bad conditions. And that's even in heated conditions. We have to warn people about the heat as well as we warn people about the cold. You can't, you got to do what your body is able to do. But Marsha, what we normally do here on the show is before we get started and all you do and letting you tell us about your fantastic journey and how you add to the lives of others, we ask our guests to introduce themselves because we don't really know you. We know what you've shown to us. We know how we feel about you, but we don't really know all of the things that you would say, this is me. So who is Marsha Snead-Williams?
Yes.
Hmm. I am still on that journey. I mean, I am so many things. And lately I've been trying to redefine who I thought I was, who I am. And you know what? I am staying away from, I guess, giving myself labels anymore. You know,
Mhm.
I guess if you want to know who I am, I'm a mother, daughter. I've done so many things. I'm newly 66, so I'm celebrating that. And I've done so many things, but more importantly, throughout my entire life, my goal was to really focus on building relationships, figuring out how we can get this stuff right, you
Yeah.
know. And I early on, just what, y'all. Excuse me, I know we're live, but I got this little puppy in here harassing me. Uh, I'm sorry. This is like I'm a butterfly. Come here, come here. This thing, I don't like
Wow.
her. You know, I've never been a dog mom, but her mom needs to come get her. Can you give me 1 second, everyone, please? I am so sorry.
And don't we all have to do some of those things sometime
Yes,
just to
yes,
just to
yes,
Okay,
just
yes.
to you gotta
okay.
you gotta love them while you
I'm
can.
sorry. And I'm a newly adopted dog grandma. I swore to God I would never like dogs. I don't really come across things like that. But let me start all over. My name is Marsha Snead-Williams, and honestly, I'm a just a regular girl from Orange, New Jersey. Orange, New Jersey. And I look back on my life and realize I have traveled and gone so many things. So on Facebook, people know me as the Butterfly Queen. What is the Butterfly Queen? Who is the Butterfly Queen? Ah, it's Marsha. I realize I spent much of my life trying to figure out who I was, what I was doing. And recently, I have gone through a journey in the last 4 years. I know I'm getting deep quickly. This is my first time back on live camera in 4 years.
Oh,
So I'm really kind of nervous and coming back and getting myself back acclimated to doing what it is I love to do. Been on an amazing journey the last 4 years, especially. I do want to talk about that. And that was really a healing journey where I discovered who I was. Prior
So
to, Mhm.
let's get
Help me out here.
let's get in the deep delve thing
yes.
of when I met you, you were doing consulting, you were doing counseling, you were doing coaching, and it expanded so wide. It's amazing that you call yourself the butterfly queen because butterflies flitter from flower to flower, and they have their own journey. I've never seen a butterfly in bees travel together. Other animals travel in packs.
Mm-hmm.
Birds tend to, they seem like they're separated, but they tend to have, an area where they go together.
Mm-hmm.
However, a butterfly, usually you see one,
Mm-hmm.
unless
I'm
you're in a butterfly.
smiling. I'm
Right.
smiling, Annette, because
Yeah. You
you
usually
calling me out. You calling me out.
right.
All right.
Because the thing about it is butterflies touch and cause a smile. They touch and cause a heart opening. They touch and cause an awareness, because I've never seen anyone not see a butterfly and not go, "Ooh, there's a butterfly."
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that before. Being in the company of others. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when I met you, you were into so much that I was like, oh my gosh, how does she do all of that?
And that's why I have such a difficult time sometimes with these interviews when they say, "Tell me about yourself."
Right,
Um,
right. So, as a
like I said,
coach, counselor, and consultant, what did that actually involve?
well, I guess the coaching thing. Let's start here. I'm a Cheney graduate, HBCU. My major was psychology and human sexuality,
Mhm.
uh, which kind of led me into wanting to understand people and really talk to people about what really motivates us on this planet to
Sure.
connect and to be together. So
Yeah.
that's where the butterfly queen came in.
Mm-hmm.
Butterflies go through this change in life, and I
Right.
think in order for us to really embrace who we are, learn who we are, and I know I'm all over the place in this, but I'm going to bring it all back for you
Mhm.
to understand. Um, my idea was in being named the butterfly queen and being called the butterfly queen, I didn't give myself that name. It was given to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've traveled all over the world. I've worked with women's organizations. I've done so many things. It was really hard in the last few years to figure out who I am. So these interviews drive me crazy when they ask, "Who are you?" I let
Mhm.
people come to me, really, and I am to them what it is they need at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
And through that, I don't know, I see it as a gift now. A couple of years ago, I was love, sex, and relationship, and I still believe in that. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I worked in. And a lot of people knew me through that. Now I'm changing. I'm working on relationship building in another vein. How do we get it right? And I think I'm all over the place today because I cannot be remiss to ignore what's going on the planet right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
What's going on the planet right now has got me shook. So I really think it's time for us to work on building these relationships. And that's the type of work I'm
Mhm.
doing now.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I realized that all the work that I've ever done, the butterfly queen work, the love, the sex, the relationships, the retreats, the all
Mm-hmm.
those many things that you saw, protective service work was all really based on relationships.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah. I could
so
see
what you
that.
see
Yeah.
today is I don't want everybody to think that I've changed so much. I still believe in love,
Mm-hmm.
sex,
Well,
great relationships, but more importantly, right now my focus is figuring out how we can get all that right.
right.
Right, right. And and
Absolutely.
and people have to understand that there's a basis to everything that we do. A lot of times people jump in and figure, I'll figure it out as I go along. No,
Right.
you have to have a base as you walk into it. Like you
Yeah.
said, sometimes we do have to sit back and reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we do have to sit back and say, wait a minute, wait a minute. I was headed this way, but
Mm-hmm.
now things are steering me that way, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So
Right.
mental
Exactly.
health and motivation and life relationships,
Mm-hmm.
would you say, like you said, life relationships, what's going on in the world today,
Mm-hmm.
would you say that also helped in your background?
Oh, it definitely did. I remember working as a social worker. I remember
Mhm.
coming, like I said, my work is really subjective, the work that I've done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I am in the process of, I've always been a talker. I've been a radio show talk person, spokesperson. I've done so many
Mhm.
things. Right now, I've been gone through such a change in my life where what I'm doing right now is reinventing the woman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
the same work
And,
that I've done. I
mm-hmm.
sat and thought, if people have always asked me, what do you do? Who are you? What do you, I don't know what the heck I am actually. except for I am a woman living life every single day, learning how to connect, support. I mean, there are so many people that, and I'm really straight away from saying I'm a coach anymore. Can we really coach people?
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
for this interview, let me for my audience that usually follows me, and for those of you who are just meeting me, I'm a really great spokesperson. Nanette called me really like the other day and said, "Mark, can you do this?" And she knows personally, I love her because she's now my butterfly. Okay, I've been hiding out from y'all, didn't want to get back on camera, went through a bunch of health situations, figured out what I'm going to do. And anybody that's tuning in from my channel, you know, I've been hesitant to get back out there. As a butterfly queen, I've done so many things in my life. And right now, what I've done in these last 2 years is really heal. A few years ago, I came down with an illness. I came down with a sudden illness, and I had to really manage that. And in that managing of that, I went through a personal life. I guess I would call it a dark night of the soul. You know, I had to really, you know, I lost my livelihood. You know, I lost the things I love to do, lost some of my faculties, you know, health. We talked about the health issues that we have in life. And what I realized is that this is saging. This is something now I have to come back out and start talking about this.
Absolutely.
What do I do at this phase in my life?
Yeah, but
Like I
Marsha,
said,
I think it's the question. It's really the question is, who are you now, right? Because
exactly.
as you evolve, as you experience, you can't be the same person at 20 that you are at 40, that you are at 59, or whatever the age. You can't be the same, and it's a great thing for the butterfly. You know, we talk about, you know, the metamorphosis, right?
Exactly.
From the caterpillar, you go into that, you know, cocoon, and you know, you develop into something different. And who's to say that a butterfly can't go back into cocoon and become a bigger butterfly or a different butterfly? Yeah.
And through this journey, I've learned that we go through many metamorphoses.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go through 3, 4, and 5 of them at the same
That's right.
time.
That is
So in my work, I began as a protective service worker, working with people who are victims of domestic violence, children who were abused. So that was one segment of my life. And I grew a passion out of that in supporting the people who take care of these children, are the parents, are women. And women taking care of women. Who do we take care of? Our children.
Yeah.
And then we got to bring our men back in there. So that's what my interest was. You know, I was married to an amazing man. I had amazing children, have amazing children. You know, I had a great dating life, I believe. I went from being married to single. And I always talked about this with my girlfriends. I talked about this on my platform because I think it's important for us to, like, we always talk about how we were successful. We don't really share how we got there. And what is success? You know, I've written and I post all the time. I try to inspire. I do all these different things, but most of the time I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, you go.
You know, you got to talk to you. You're working on yourself.
That's
so
right.
I kind of remove. Like I said, I'm in the process of reinventing the woman. There's a friend that gave me a book called Reinventing the Woman, and I love that book because it allows all of us to understand we can always change who we are.
Right.
But the scariest part, you know what the scariest part is?
What's that?
Stepping out here today, I look totally different than I used to look. I feel differently than I did 4 years ago. And I'm gonna tell you, I prepared to talk about something totally different, but right now I'm talking about this. How do you make these changes in your life or in yourself, or go through changes and then re-present yourself?
That's right. And guess what? You do it whether you want to or not, right? Because
and I don't want to be here. I did not want to be here. Let me tell you what happened today. About a half hour before this show, my daughter's car got caught in the middle. I don't know if you know, we're in the middle of an ice storm here. And where I'm at in Virginia, they do not clean the roads. Her car is stuck outside of the apartment. And I'm like, but I got to get ready for a show. So I'm trying to do my hair. But the car stuck in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
I'm a Jersey driver.
Yeah.
My son, I love him. He's a Florida driver, and
Right.
I'm telling him what to do. I'm by my show, and I'm watching the time. I run out there, and we get the car moved. I come, and I'm here. So learning that taught me that even with that, being resilient, step up, do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Everything got in the way of me wanting to do this today,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm here anyway.
Well, that's what
Well,
I
you
love
get,
about our
yeah,
community.
I'm here
That
yeah.
anyway,
we
and I
don't,
don't want to be here anyway.
we don't like to be on the surface. We like to know, the behind the scenes stuff. That what makes you the great person that you present to the world, and it's
Mhm.
not magic. It's work back there, and that's what we like to know about here on this podcast. Our podcast is what is the work, because again, for somebody looking, it looks like, oh, magic, and you would never have any problems, and there's no
Mhm.
challenges to overcome, and everything is easy and lackadaisical, and flip your hair, and but no, we know there's work.
I used to love perpetrating that fraud back when I was
Yeah,
in my 30s. When I was in my 30s, I wanted everyone to see me as Superwoman. I wanted to be able to do it all. I don't
yeah,
want to do it like that anymore.
right.
Well, not
I
only
don't want to
that,
have to.
I think that the difference is with our generation, and I could say this openly, with our generation, we came up in an era where it was expected of us to do it all. It was
Mhm.
expected of us to carry the torch that our parents handed us, and to carry the torch with pride, not carry the torch because they made us carry it, not carry the torch because somebody would down us or say something about us, but carry the torch with pride to say, hey, this is what I became. Out of
Mhm.
Yeah,
all that my parents did for me, this is how I became. This is how I evolved. Like you said, the butterfly.
Mhm.
I'm a butterfly. But then we also had enough within us not to scream, oh, woe is me, when
Yeah,
something comes along. we
but
we know we know that we have to do the changeover. We know that we have to go in deeper. We know that we have to delve into it. And the
Mhm.
thing that I think in personal development, empowerment, and what we give back,
Mhm.
a lot of times we have to give it to ourselves first.
Right.
and that's what I learned.
We have to feed off of it first,
Mhm.
because we have to also understand the why in what we do. Everybody talks about purpose, everybody talks about growth, everybody talks about that. And I'm almost like, the old commercial, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I could remember telling my son that, saying, hey, it's time for you to be this. And he would always yell, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid, But the thing about it is, when you think about it, when you're older, you do think about the fact that, look, who said I wanted to be in charge?
Right.
Who said we wanted to be adults? Well, we did. We did. When we were younger, we said we couldn't
Hey, wait
wait.
till I grow up, right?
Can't wait till I grow up. And
And let me tell
now
you,
that we're grown up
and
and
it goes
going
back
through
right, and it
and
goes
going
back.
through those transformations and everything else, those knockdowns, there are people in our generation that didn't get back up.
Yeah.
There are people that don't know how to get back up. And we've become that generation, like almost the last generation of folks that would say, you put on your boots, you put on your big girl pants, you put on
Yeah.
your gloves, and even if you swing and you miss, you keep right on swinging,
Exactly.
you know? And that's the part that I admire about you, is the part that okay, you went through a few things, and my thing was, well, okay, didn't all of us have everybody, it's a different story,
Hmm.
but I believe each of us has had a knockdown.
And I think that what I've learned, like, and I'm not going to be all over the place with this interview, but I had to start off where I was. Let me bring it down. When it comes to that what you're talking about, personal development, taking what I learned the most in what I've gone through in my, not just in my life,
Mhm.
but especially in these last 4 years, is taking care of myself better.
Mhm.
I have to take care of me. And if
Right.
I come out, who I'm loving right now, she's on Facebook. Linnell, the comedian.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
You know, I've
Mhm.
been superwoman, I've been mommy, I've been wife, I've done all these things. And I loved it. I loved it when I
Yeah.
did it, you
Yeah.
know, and I want to continue. But I
Mhm.
realized throughout my life, I've always loved working on relationships.
Mhm.
But I really needed to take time to work on the relationship I have with myself.
That's right.
Right,
That's
And so
right.
now I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't regret anything I've done. I loved um, uh, hosting women's events where we got together and talked about relationships. Because I do believe that we as women, and we
Hmm.
can really, really work together in a non-competitive manner.
That's right.
Right,
There's enough
right,
out there for everybody. And believe it or not, there's enough men out there too for y'all.
Yeah.
right, right,
You know, we don't have to
right,
compete with all that.
Right.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
When I tell you it's all relative, at least it's relationship. There's
Mhm.
enough
right.
men out there. There are enough
Yeah.
opportunities out there.
That's
There's enough
right.
resources out there.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
know, and I'm gonna tell you why there's enough resources out there because we all don't want the same thing.
That's
Right,
right. That's
You
right.
exactly.
know,
Yeah.
when I tell you there's enough men out there, because I don't want the kind of man you got.
That's
You
Exactly.
right.
know, and
That's right.
you don't want me either. You know, so
And not
there's
only that, the thing about it is we have to understand that he too is a person.
Right.
So you can't just automatically assume that that man that you're attracted to is attracted to
Mhm.
you. So
Yeah.
just because he's not attracted to you and he's attracted to someone else you know or someone else that you've seen him with,
Right.
it's not that they wanted the man that you wanted. It also
Mhm.
involved him wanting them.
yeah,
You
and
know,
like
Right.
I said, and when it
we
comes
have
to
to forget,
relationship,
yeah, when
male,
relationships are a two-way thing. And we
Mhm.
have to understand, be it in business, be
Mhm.
it between a woman and a man, be it between two women, whatever it's about. It could just be about life. It could be about parenting. It could be about, being a teacher to a student. Whatever it is, when there are two people involved, it has to click in order for that relationship to develop and in order
Yeah.
for that relationship to grow and
Yeah.
in order for it to prosper. Because if you're in business and you don't have a good relationship with the people that you work with, you're not going to get anywhere in business. So it has to be, everybody has to understand the strengths, the weaknesses, the ups, the downs. You have to understand, hey, I can't do it. I got it.
right,
Hey,
right,
you can't do it. I got it.
and
We have to be able to work
Mhm.
those things, which is a part of personal development.
hmm
I
Mhm.
could sit back and allow Marsha to go somewhere and speak, and I don't have to get on the stage. Am I going to be mad with her after she get off the stage? No, I'm going to grab her papers and everything else, and we're going to move on to the next place. I'm
Right.
not going to be jealous about the fact that she got 4 speaking engagements and I only got 2. That's not what business is about. We're supposed to promote each other. We're supposed to work together to develop the relationship so that we don't worry about it, but allow each person to be an individual. Now, here's my tears. Felice left me here in the northern part of America and went to, Puerto Rico. I'm a little upset about that. But
you got a
but
place to go now.
I got a place to go. If she
That's
spread her
right.
wings,
That part.
she spread her
And
wings.
she left out the part that I said, "Come with me," but we won't talk about that part.
But
Don't,
the thing about it is, it's a part of what I'm trying to get across to our audience is her spreading to Puerto Rico means that now we have a chance to spread the podcast further.
yes.
We have a chance to develop more things.
Mhm.
We have an opportunity that we didn't have before. So we have to understand these relationships are built for growth.
Mhm.
And I like that. I'm so happy that and honored that we're going to be collaborating on a few projects together. You know, I'm
Hmm.
really excited by that because the work of building relationships, not just community, you know, within the community, but it really starts with, like I said, self development, the relationship with yourself, then within your home structure, your partner, your family, your
Hmm.
children, and then your community. You can't change anybody or anything unless you
No,
do it there, you know.
Oh,
So,
right.
no.
Right.
so I think by offering my idea and really working on relationships, having these conversations, being able to talk candidly and honestly, But I've learned even with myself, I wanted to get away from having imposter syndrome. I've been doing this for 20
Mm.
something years, 20
Mhm.
something years. So I had to get to the point where I had to hold me accountable
Yeah.
for all the
Yeah.
stuff
Mhm.
that looked good, the things
Right.
that I was saying that felt good,
Mhm.
that may
Right.
have gotten, attention or whatever it is, and just work on it within me.
And
And
not
Right.
only
it
that,
was so good.
one of the
Yeah.
things about that personal development and having that imposter syndrome, it's time for everyone to understand who they are before they start picking on who everybody else is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
You
And
can't
does the
you can't
Bible tell
pick
us to get that plank out of our eye so we get the splinter out of somebody else's? I think that's how.
exactly, because the thing about it is if I can sit and analyze someone else
Yeah.
and say what their strengths and the weaknesses are and where their growth is needed and where
Mhm.
this is needed and where that's needed, you best believe I better be right where I'm standing.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
I better be able to pick everything off, all of the little problems and limp balls that I got. I need to
yeah.
be able to shave all of that off and come in clean myself.
Yeah.
And a
Exactly.
lot of times we don't come in clean. We come
Mhm.
in with the thought, we come in with
Yeah.
the idea,
But not
but we're
clean.
coming in with this, like you said, that imposter syndrome. I'm Superman,
Mhm.
I could do it all. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, trying to be that Superman and trying to be that person that we're not is what takes on to our health.
Yes.
And see, for me, the imposter syndrome, the way I embraced that was, you know, well, when I've done, like I said, a lot of things in my life. I've had women's retreats and things where I told women they had, or even men. I actually most of my clients are men.
Mhm.
When we talk about taking better care of yourself, how do you interact in relationships?
Mhm.
You know, how do you connect with people?
Mhm.
And when we're talking about those things, I
Yeah.
could tell people what to do. You know, I
Mhm,
could suggest
Right.
things for you, but am I incorporating them in my own
That's
life?
right. That's
mhm,
Am I
exactly
protecting
right.
myself? Am I taking good care of me first? And
Yeah, because
so
they're not your children. You can't say do as I say, not as I do.
mhm,
exactly. So
mhm,
I think in my career I feel very blessed that I really believe that whatever I did, it came from the heart. Whether it
Yeah.
was when I was talking about
Mhm.
intimate relationships, whether I was
Mhm.
talking about sexual relationships, but my biggest passion lately has become team building. How do we get along in the
mhm,
workplace?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get along with see, relationships are so multifaceted. In the work that we're going to do, we're not
mhm.
only going to just talk about, people improving their own relationships with others, but within
Mhm.
themselves.
Yeah.
That's what
And
the
not
that's what
only
the
that, are we really involved deep enough? And I don't mean to knock on anybody's organization. I don't want anybody to don't contact me with your nonsense about I knocked on your because I'm not bringing up anybody in particular. What I'm asking is, are we involved enough? It's enough to go to the meetings. It's enough to hear what they're saying. It's enough to
Mhm.
dispute it. And then it's enough to go back to social media and talk about it. You
Right.
know, oh, they didn't do this. They didn't say that. They didn't address this. They didn't address that. So are we truly involved to resolve things? Or are we involved just to cause the rumble underneath?
Mhm.
I believe that if we're going to do community organizations and we're going to be involved, we need to be just as animate about ourselves as we
Mhm.
are about the community. And Marsha, you and I have have that entwine because we've worked with youth, we've worked
Yeah.
with children, and a lot
absolutely
of times children can't make the voice that you need to make for them. They
Right.
can't say where they are, and you know yourself. I found that out with health
Mhm.
a lot of times the elders, and not that I ain't knocking on the door, but the thing about it is the elders, they don't know enough about what they have as a coverage. They don't know enough about the changes that come along. They don't know enough about the technical issues where they got to go sign up for this or sign up for that or get the teleprompter to do this and do all of that. So a lot of times they just say forget it.
Mhm.
Their medication is changed to generic and they don't even know it. So a
Mhm.
lot of times when we're involved, are we just squawking about what's not being done? How do we get
Mhm.
that squawk to turn into involvement?
Mhm.
Well, as far as community involvement and involvement with, like supporting others, it goes back to empathy in relationships. Really,
Yeah.
not just doing what you do, but caring about what you're doing.
Right.
You know, caring
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I have to have a sense of empathy, and I'm going to talk about what's going on in this country now. Not being political.
Mm-hmm.
Empathy. Empathy is the
Right.
basis
Mhm.
of all of it. Why are
That's
we
right.
doing what we do? Any
Yeah.
type of programs we design,
Mm-hmm.
any type of retreats, all these girls retreats or whatever, we need to teach how to take care of each other.
Yes.
You know, so I
Yeah.
think it begins with that and really being sincere.
Mm-hmm.
About this community work. And I don't think you can really force people to be community. You just got to show them community.
That's right. That is right.
You
Yeah.
show people community. You can sit on and tell them what to do, but if you show people community, if you show people compassion, empathy, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that you will not meet challenges in that, but the
Right.
things that we do, the programs, I've probably been to well over 1,000 or more conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I've been to so many networking events.
Right.
I've been to thousands probably of different community organization events and that type of thing, but I want to see where the work is done consistently.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, if I want to do a healing retreat for women, which is I'm looking forward to scheduling one very, very soon. We're gonna have a great time.
Yay! In Puerto Rico.
And I've been to Puerto, that's why I want to know where
I've
you're
seen
at.
that. I was gonna talk to
I'm
you.
from, I stayed in St. Croix forever, and that's my home. And I hope my ladies are watching there. I can't wait to go back there. But and let me not lose track of what I was saying. But when we offer these things to people, I want to offer you something to take home.
That's right.
You
Mhm.
know, I don't want to just go to these conferences and spend $4,000 and $5,000 to be there for a week, and I leave and I ain't got a friend. I don't have a
Mhm.
Yeah.
connection. I got to bag through ink pens and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And when
Mm-hmm.
so the retreats and the things that I want to do, I want people to leave with some
Yeah.
nuggets. Leave with some
Yeah.
dessert, so you
Well,
can
Mm-hmm.
go home and
one of our callers put out a great statement.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "We're operating a lot of times out of fear and not alignment."
exactly,
Mm. Woo!
exactly.
So that's
Right.
profound, and that's why I put
Yeah.
it up there to show that this is what a lot of people are looking at. That a lot of times we're so busy trying to fight
Yeah.
that we forget that if we had a team, we could fight better.
Yeah.
That
But
if we work
And
together,
it will turn from a fight to a mission or, a purpose, right? Yeah.
mhm,
A lot of times we're fighting, but that's we're putting up our dukes. But what is the purpose? So if you
mhm,
walk in purpose, then you truly are in alignment. And really, it's
mhm.
really not a fight. It's a mission to accomplish. It's not
And
a
we have to have a common goal. And I
but you
think
know,
the common goal is the wellness. Even if we just
Mhm.
put that as a heading for any personal, professional,
Mhm.
our health, our
Yeah.
mental stability, all of it our relationships in our homes, our relationships with our family, our relationship with self, like Marsha said,
Mhm.
just knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Everything has to be aligned.
Yeah.
And if
and,
we
and,
understand that, we can kind of get out of being scared about it once we know how we align ourselves.
and I think that when at least my experience, I've been a manager, a boss, whatever, for all my life, for most of my career. You got to find what people's strengths are. I'm
Right.
not trying. Look, I like
Mhm.
you, Felice, because you do what you do. I don't want to have to do
Right.
exactly what you do.
That's right. That's
So
right.
we're not
Mhm.
competing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
write books. I am not a book writer.
Right.
So we're not competing on that level. And that's what
Yeah.
I think the mindset when we come together with any,
Right.
even in a relationship, my expertise is really talking about love, sex, and relationships, because I think that
Mhm.
that sets the stage for everything we do.
Right.
Everything
Mhm.
we Why are we working?
And
What do you
right.
work
And
for?
as we do find those people that do something similar or in the same pool, if you will, it's still not about you versus me. It's about you support me and I support you.
And how about this? Right. And how about this? You know some stuff I don't know.
Absolutely.
We admit we don't know everything. You know, people I don't know. You may have connections I don't know. Most of my life, and a lot of the work I do is subjective, because most of my life, most of the things I've ever received came from God.
That's right.
By way of connections, by way of resources, by way of networking, by way of Nanette being my friend, you know, by way of those types of things. And I think that once we, a lot of the work, getting rid of the competition, instilling empathy in the work that we do, and understand is enough for everybody.
And the thing about it is just what you said about knowing about self. One of the things, I always say this all the time, and I know, you know, people get tired of hearing me say it, but I say it all the time because it's always with me. My dad used to say all the time, if you can't lose, you can't win.
Right.
You know, you gotta learn how to fall. You gotta learn how to fall so that you know how to get up.
Right. For me,
you know, so if I'm falling or failing, like the people that I talked to about me going through the cancer journey and everything, by me falling to this and going through what I went through, I've learned a whole lot about strength. I've learned a whole lot about defeat. Yes. Do I have tears? Yes. I've cried some nights. You know, I've cried some nights and say, why me? You know, I fall down with the why me? Oh, Lord, I don't want to do this. You know, oh, why is this? This is going to be forever. You know, why am I doing this? Why am I going about this? The two of you assist me in an event that for me fell through. I cried for days saying that this did not work out the way it was supposed to work. However, in the back of my mind, I'm saying that means you got to come back and throw it out the window, and you got to come back and blow it off the roof. You know, blow the roof off of it the next time you do it, because you didn't do it. You didn't do it the way that it was supposed to be done. You did it the way you wanted to do it. Now sit back and allow something to get through, so that it could be done the way it was supposed to be done. I gave it to you. You went about it. But that ain't what I wanted you to do. I didn't want you to do it that way.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and think about it. How many loss did I have before I was able to accomplish certain things?
Because I want to add this. A lose is always a learn.
That's right.
Yes.
I don't care what you lose. You learn not to lose it anymore.
You learn not to do it
how
again.
To manage it better.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no such thing as losing, you know.
Yes.
Right.
I don't lose. I never lose. I don't lose.
And I was looking at it going,
I learned some hard lessons, but I don't lose.
and see, the thing about it is I never had that, I was the only child. So my father would do all kind of stuff with me. He'd play checkers, and he played checkers till sweat running down, And I'm like, it's just a game of checkers. His thing was, oh, you getting better. Let me move this piece right here. Oh, you getting better. Let me do that. He never allowed me to just win. Yeah. He always taught me to lose first. And then he would say, now sit back down and think about each thing that you do. So now as an adult, that's the way I do everything. I sit down and plot it out. By the time I plot it out, the next person is looking at me going, well, how'd you get to that answer? Well, I've already made steps along the way. I saw what you didn't see coming. I heard what you didn't hear. I knew what I was going to do. If you said no, I already had the answer behind you. I already was ready to let you know. Well, if you're saying no today, what about tomorrow? Let's talk about how we're going to move along if you stop me today.
And for me, I have not had that many conversations with you. However, I'm so happy she's the way she is, because I'm not that. But I want her I want to be on her team. I tell you that much.
That's right.
Somebody bother me. I'm calling you, because you're gonna get to the bottom of it.
Get to the bottom of it. Let's find out.
So she goes off and does all her things, and I'm just behind her with the shovel, just case.
Already?
Yeah, because and the thing about it is everybody has to know that there's a position that you play. So if I call Felice up, the first thing she say is, "Are you okay?" You know, and she knows automatically, yes, I'm okay, but this is what I need.
Yeah.
This is where I fell short. You know, even in
yeah.
calling you, Marsha, how about we do this? I'm not saying to you this is where I fell short. I'm asking you, how do we get the wheel turning? Let's turn the wheel a little bit. So everybody has to play a part in making sure that the final production of life gets done in the best way we can perform it.
Yeah.
So can I
Sure.
I want to go back to we're talking about relationships and healing and really, you know, reinventing ourselves and getting our our lives in a peaceful place that we want to be in. You know, that's my thing, being in a peaceful place. So I'm in working with you all, you know, the wellness programs, all those types of things. I want men to understand that they are very much still a very big part of my platform. You know, like I said, from our trio here, I'm the relationship lady. You know, I'm the one. I will talk about relationships. I can. That's my strength, my superpower. Inspiring. That's my superpower. Now, when it comes to tracking down your money, I know who I'm calling. You know, I know who I'm going to talk to, and that's what I want people to understand. That's what makes a powerful team. That's what makes connection.
Right.
Tonight we're talking about connection. My journey as a connector. You know, as a connector, like I said, there's so many things. I'm ready to do some new stuff now. I'm not going to talk about what I did anymore that much.
That's right.
But it's all in alignment. It's the same thing. It's about living better, loving better, laughing more, and learning to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And not only that, the thing about it is we have to understand, as another person that's on the line, and I appreciate everybody that has joined in. She said, you know, we got to learn that it's not selfish. You know, we got to learn that taking care of self is not selfish, which I always say self-care is not selfish. It's not selfish. And it's not selfish if you're in a relationship to care for those that you're in a relationship with. It's not selfish. It's not selfish for them to say, I don't feel good today. And you say, well, what do you need? A lot of us look at it and say, well, why are you being so nosy? You want to know my downfall. No. I want to know what you need. What do you need me to do? What can I do for you to help you feel better? Even if it's just a conversation. Because sometimes in us not feeling well, especially those of us, like I said, on this cancer journey, sometimes it's just, I want to hear somebody else's voice. Because I'm hearing voices all the time about, you got to go back to the doctor. You got to go back to do this. What's going to happen this time? What are they going to say with this test? So sometimes I just want to hear somebody else tell me what they're doing. Somebody else tell me what's going on in their life. Give me a key word. Give me something positive. I just want to hear that from someone. So I have to be surrounded by people like-minded and like willingness. I need to be around those type people.
Right.
You know, isolation is the highest form of self-destruction. Isolation. I'm not talking about solitude. Isolation. When you're isolated and you have no resources or anything, that's when you really, that's when you become vulnerable to being defeated. That's why relationships are so important to me. And like you said, what you're saying, recognizing that people have different strengths. You know, alignment, being in alignment. So those are the things that we want to do at the workshops. Those are the things that we want to connect with when we, you know, do our podcasts and things like that. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to doing. And you know, in the reinventing and coming back and you know, really making a difference in people's lives. My life.
And one of the things that you said that was main too is the men in our relationships as women, the men as women. I have a son, Felice has a son, you have a son. You know, we watch our boys grow. And a lot of times they say, oh, they're a mama's boy. Oh, they're a mama's boy.
Yes,
let me tell you something that my son said was profound. I thought it was, every now and then, even though he's a jokester, he comes up with something that I go, woo. That tuition I paid really paid off.
Aren't they amazing?
Woo, woo. I feel good. But he said to me the other day that the thing that he realizes in some of his friends and some of his associates, he said, even though they had the one parent that they raised them, and he was raised by me and his dad, so he looks at it and he says, you know what, the man is my father, regardless to name, regardless to relationship, regardless to whatever. He raised me.
Yeah.
He said, and because of that, I can think like a man. Wow. He said, I could think like a man. He said, but because you were my mother, I have a balance. He said, I have a balance of empathy. I have a balance of love. I have a balance of being soft at times because I know how to soften the harsh blows.
Yeah.
I know how to speak differently because I have that balance. So when we're talking about the relationships that go on with men and the wellness of getting them together in groups and getting them together even for relationship coaching or relationship counseling, we have to think sometimes that although women, most of the time we're raised by women, so we learn all of the women stuff, good, bad, or indifferent. And we really don't have to lean too far on the men things other than don't you do this and watch out for that. We really don't get that from our growing up. We get a lot of what we do from the women. But a male, he needs a good balance of understanding how to go back and forth with both. Because now my son has girls. He doesn't have a male. He has girls. So he has to be able to have that empathetic ear with them. And because after a while that you don't get to sit down to the tea parties anymore. They're asking you to drop them off at the prom.
Well,
They're asking you to, you know what I mean? So as a father, he's got to learn how to balance that out. And he said, I've been blessed because I've had that balance. So we have to understand that our men need that extra balance because we sometimes don't inject all of that in them either.
I think it's important. I mean, a father, if there's a mother and father in the home, the father definitely teaches the son how to treat the mother. It also teaches a daughter how to be treated. I was raised by my dad, so I think that's why I have an affinity for men, and I feel very comfortable and confident, talking to them and understanding just a lot of different perspectives. I guess I'm just very comfortable, and my son, especially my son, I look at him. I call him a divine masculine because I think he's a healthy balance between his dad and myself. Sure. He was telling me the other day, he said, Mom, men have to have a little bit of femininity. I said, yeah, just enough to be gentle with me. Be gentle with me. I mean, and we talked about that. I'm the gentle one. He gets mad at me sometimes. I don't want to hear all that peaceful stuff. I don't want to hear all that butterfly queen crap. He gets sick of me. But it's my divine, that's my secret weapon. That keeps you balanced.
You're right.
Down. I'm not gonna let you go out there and do
and just do crazy. Yeah, you can't go and just do crazy. That's right.
That's what mothers are there for. To especially when you have sons. You're that
and not only that,
balance, that alignment.
Just like us. That's your love following them. You can't stop loving them, so you can't.
Exactly. And not only that, one of our listeners is saying, "Hey, we got to learn how to ask for help." And say it's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Right.
And when we're not okay, recognize it. Recognize it.
The worst part in doing the work that I guess we do, especially as a coach, who motivates the motivator? Who coaches the coach?
Exactly. And you got to have a team behind you to get that motivation. You got to have a pick me up. And you'd be surprised where it comes from, because I can remember when, I was going through being sick. Felice would call all the time. A couple of people would call all the time. But I had some people that called me that I had not spoke to in years. And when they found out that I had been sick, or that I wasn't feeling well. Their thing was, you picked me up when you didn't even know I was down.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm checking on you. So we don't know who we create a bridge for.
Yeah.
No.
We don't know who we do these things for. And in the work that you do, in the work that I do, in the work that Felice has done, even in talking people through their professional ground,
Yeah.
you don't know what connection you make for them that makes them just go, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone who's ever worked for me, I am a presser. I see your strength. I'm going to keep pressing you. I'm going to want you to grow. But I also had to learn that everybody doesn't want to grow at the rate you want.
That's right. That's right. That's
right. Coaching and guiding and even parenting, you got to learn the balance.
Right.
You got to learn to be in alignment. We talked about, raising men. My son, I lost my husband when my son was a teenager, and suddenly he went from all this masculine energy, which was very wonderful and divine, which I'm so happy he had that time, to suddenly soft me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now he's dealing with soft me. The world's not like that. I know it's not. Mm-hmm. Your dad taught you that part. I'm telling you this part.
Right.
You can't. No, I'm going to calm you. I'm the person. We're going to talk about this, but we laugh about it because we go at it sometimes. Mom, you in this kumbaya stuff? Yeah, well, I got to keep you calm. I'm a fight because see the world's going to see the world's going to treat me differently.
Right.
And I've always known that in raising my son, it's going to treat me differently. I can jump into some situations more comfortable than you, and in some situations you need to take care of me.
Right.
So,
right.
When I like I said, that's the part I do love about relationship studies. I don't just coach. I really study relationships. I've always wanted to know why people act like that.
Right.
That's my biggest thing. Why?
Exactly.
There's a reason. I mean, people ain't just terrible for no reason at all.
That's right.
You and I talk about all the time. What makes people like that?
And not only that, the thing about it is you have to
these things. Not necessarily bad.
And you have to say it in recognizing yourself, like you said, recognizing yourself in all of it. If it was presented to you to deal with this person, or presented to you for you to be enlightened by what they're doing, or for you to be, or for them to be exposed in front of you, it's either for you to reflect, it's either for you to deflect, or it's either for you to help them reflect.
Amen. Yeah.
You're in one way or another, you've been put in their arena, because sometimes, a lot of times, I know with myself, it was things where I was like, well, why that person come to me? Why are they asking me that question? There's a reason for it. There's a reason for them being in your circle, in your inner circle. And we have to all understand that some people come in and then some people leave. And it's not a length of time that you can measure. You can have friends for 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden they don't call you no more.
Yeah.
I think now more than ever, especially during these times.
Right. You have people that just walk away and you have no idea, even though you try to connect with them or you try to reconnect with them, they still don't reach back out to connect. And then you see them later on and they're like, oh, I was going through something. Well, did they really know who you were? Because if you're the type of person that's as we are, why didn't you try to connect with me?
But I think, too, what I've learned, too, in these years of healing and working is that we're dealing with generational changes now, too. And we got to realize that. I do not want to sound like my grandma. Back in my day, I'm saying it now. I'm saying it now, but I want to still maintain back in my day, but I want to be relevant now.
Yeah, right.
I want to bridge that gap because I'm still living. Right. I'm still here now.
And it's funny that you say that, Marsha. It's really funny that you say that because my son is now saying, what is wrong with these people? When I was growing up, I said, oh, dare not say that. Dare not.
I got kind of mad. My daughter came and called herself, auntie. I said, you haven't earned auntie status yet. I'm still auntie status or am I nana status? I don't know where I'm saying I'm auntie status. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
You're right. We're things are changing. And
Yeah,
people,
and and our kids
relationships
see it,
changing.
right? And our kids see it, and they see it because they see it in their children too.
Well, they
You
see it
know,
in
they
who
see.
they see it in who their
Hmm.
potential mates are.
Right,
Who are we going to
right,
connect with? You know,
right, right,
who has had like experiences or who believes
right,
in family. You got to decipher all of this. And that's why
right,
a lot of my work now has focused on creating divine circles.
Yeah.
It's
right,
not religious.
right.
It's not religious. My divine circle are people I can trust, people that love me, people that
Sure.
support me,
And
Yeah.
that's what we have to do. We
people
have to trust in it.
who
Now,
believe in me.
one of your favorite saying was, of course, never settle for anything less than butterflies. Well, we talked about the butterflies and we talked about what they mean and everything else. But just for those in the audience that don't know, if you look up the definition of butterfly, it will tell you heaven sent kisses. The title of one of my books,
Yeah.
but no shame in it. I didn't know it. I didn't know that was the definition of butterflies. I was looking for the pictures to go. It's a children's book, so I was looking for the pictures to go in the book.
Yeah.
And of course, when you type up the butterfly, the definition came up,
Let
and
me tell you something.
it said heaven sent kisses. So
Nice.
never settle for less than heaven sent kisses.
People
Yes,
always
yes.
thought it meant that wookie, that little crazy feeling you get when you like
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Uh-huh.
means that too. But
Mhm.
you gave away my secret.
Yeah.
That's really what never settle for anything less than butterflies means. So all the
Yeah, never
guys out there
settle
that
for
I told you
anything
that you
less.
gave me butterflies, you did give me butterflies. But
Yeah, you
really,
gave me butterflies.
that's what
And,
it
and
is.
and I mean, even if you think about the fact that little soft kiss, because butterflies are so soft. A soft kiss sometimes is more sensual than any other kiss. Let's be honest about it. You'd
Yeah.
rather be kissed softly than somebody throw you over their arm and mug you.
And usually when that's my tagline. However, I always prerequisite with if you are way more than enough.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Yes.
you must never settle for anything
Yeah.
less
Right.
than
Never settle.
Well, we're going to ask our audience to make sure that they get in touch with you by your Facebook page as well as your YouTube page. Please reach out because we're going to be doing big things and you guys are going to want to be connected by all means to the things that we're doing. Of course, stay in touch with us, but by all means, reach out to the butterfly queen and make her come out of her cocoon. Make her do stuff that she don't really think she want to do. Get in touch with her and ask her questions. And not only that, the thing about it is, again, connections. You never know what one connection to another connection leads to another connection. So connect where you have to. Not only that, you can reach her on by her wait a minute, where am I now?
On
You
Facebook as Butterfly Queen.
On Facebook as Butterfly Queen, but you also can send her an email.
Yes, I am.
Send her an email at Gmail and say what it is that you're trying to do, say what it is that you want to do or need to do. Even if it's just a conversation, we're not to the point where we just talk on Monday and you can't reach us any other day of the week. Get in touch with us, get in touch with her, and we can make it happen for you. That's why we're building a networking community. Okay. We have to learn who we are. And a lot of times you can't go on professionally or personally unless you understand who you are. Understand what you like, what you don't like. Not the things that you hate because your mama told you to hate them, or the things that you hate because your girlfriend didn't want to go that place, so you ain't never going to that sushi place again because she told you that she didn't like it. Don't go on things that other people don't like. Try things for yourself. You'd be surprised at who you are. So, Marsha, we've come to the conclusion of this show, and we welcome you to come back at any given time. But
anytime.
Felice has the last question.
Oh yeah, I thought we might have been doing something different in the new year because anyway.
Nope. Nope. Some things have to stay the same so you keep balance.
That's right.
Feliz.
That's right. Love it. So, Miss Marsha. And we talked about this a little bit, but thank you for, again, giving your gifts, whatever stage you're in, whatever right now you're in, to the world. So, and as we talked about at the beginning of this conversation, is what do you do? Or we want to take the mystique out of all of the magic and everything. So I say all of that to say, what, Miss Marsha, do you do to fill your cup, whether it's empty or not, but what do you do to self-care?
My music time. I will tune you out and just get lost in my music. That is really my gift to myself. It's peaceful. I listen to all types of genres. I mean, if you know me, my playlist is from Drake to to everybody. Everybody's on there. So I love music. Music is my thing. My blogging and writing. Reach out to me on Facebook. I have a YouTube page, and our podcast will be launched really, really soon. So I'll be announcing the launch of the podcast, and we're going to have some really hot conversations and, really do some great work. So I look forward to our work together and, to keep living for my soul.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. Amen. 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 And we have to, I want to thank those that joined in with your comments and everything. We want to thank you for joining in. Let people know to come to our YouTube channel, and, we welcome them as well. And they can contact us at gmail.com to be a guest. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please contact us at gmail.com. Just let me know you want to be a guest, and I'll send you.
Can I add this? Anybody that followed Butterfly Queen here, I told you, this is the publisher. This is the company. Not to call her. I'm telling you. Anything from caller. Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome. Thank you for being here.
Where are you in Puerto Rico?
San Juan.
Girl, Aldeverde?
I'm actually really close to Santurce.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's La Verde, and I'm actually not too far from Candido.
But I'm coming over. That's my hood.
Come on. I need me a tour guide, a local.
No. Actually, St. Croix is mine, but I used to hang out in Puerto Rico too. So good. Enjoy it. Enjoy the weather, the people, and they got a nice mall there too.
Absolutely. Come on down. The weather's fine.
All right. Well, we're going to say good night, and we're going to, again, thank you, Marsha, for being here, being with us. We know that this won't be the last time at all. It will not be the last time, but we want to invite anybody that does watch or whatever. If you have a business or you have something that you love to do, we'd love to know about it, because we're building a community and aligning with others. And it doesn't matter, as you can see, Felice is in Puerto Rico, so we'll go anywhere. We'll go anywhere. So everybody take care. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Stay warm.